Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really awesome day. So I made 6 cards for you today using Concord 9th's new Love You More Than dies and stamp. These are so super cute, you guys. I used all of the images except the flowers because I love flowers, but I'm not really a flower person. I'm definitely a food and coffee person and a nap person. So in this you have tacos, french fries, ice cream, pizza, a pillow, flowers, coffee, and I say tacos, and then a cute little frame. Then in the stamp set it says I love you more than, and then it has all of the things that you love this person more than, plus a couple other sentiments that I did not use. So I've already done all of this die cutting off camera, but I am going to show you for each little image how to put it together, and then I'm also doing some coloring with Copic markers on colored cardstock. So I've got this nice yellow here. I do have everything listed and linked below, so if I don't remember all the names, it is listed for you. But I have yellow cardstock, red cardstock, a cute little turquoise heart there, which comes in that die. And I'm going to add some detail to the french fries. So I'm coming in with this Copic marker, it's kind of orangey brown, and then blending it out with the yellow. And I'm just adding little spots of toastiness to the french fries. Now for the pizza, I die cut 7 slices of pizza. I realize you need 8 for a whole pizza, but the way I wanted it to look, I only did 7. So I have red cardstock, yellow cardstock, and then some craft cardstock. Again, I'm going to be using my Copic markers to add some details to these die cuts. And again, it's on colored cardstock. You could definitely not do these extra details, but I really love it. And coloring on colored cardstock kind of makes the whole process go a little bit faster. So I laid down a yellow. I'm coming in with kind of a orangey brown, adding some toasted cheese spots, and then coming in with this lighter yellow that kind of matches the yellow of the cardstock a tad bit lighter. And then I'm adding some toasty spots to the crust. This is where like all that dark bubbly crust comes into play when you have like that wood fire pizza. Then I've got the tacos. This is super simple, a yellow and a green cardstock. You're just going to glue that together. And I'm going to come in and just kind of add some dot detail to kind of give it the look of a taco shell, like a tortilla shell, like a corn tortilla shell. So I'm going to add this in. I'm going to add in a little bit of a darker color, and then I'm going to blend in with a yellow. Again, that's just slightly darker than the yellow cardstock, and just kind of blend out those little dots. Turned out super cute. Then I'm going to put together this coffee cup. I have a teal coffee cup, a craft cardstock, that little, paper cup holder around so you don't burn your hands off, and a cute little red heart. I'm going to have a black lid on top of this, and I will add some Copic detail to the little craft cardstock piece. So I'm coming in with some browns, a brown that pretty much matches the cardstock, and then darker ones. So when you're coloring on cardstock, it is good to find a Copic marker that kind of matches the color that you want. So when you come in with darker markers, you can still blend it out like you would normally on a white piece of cardstock. So that way it doesn't look like it doesn't look like you've got these dark parts that aren't blended nicely. So I'm just going to glue that little piece together, which I think is so super cute, this little mini coffee cup. And I glued 2 hearts together to give that some dimension. Then I've got this ice cream cone, and I love chocolate ice cream, and I love lots of ice cream. So I'm going to do a triple decker ice cream. I'm going to glue this first piece that has the little openings onto a piece of pink cardstock, so it looks like it has pink sprinkles. And then the rest of these I'm just going to glue on top. I'm not worried about the holes on top because the next layer is going to cover that up. And I'm kind of gluing them a little bit wonky so they look like they're tilting. And then I'm going to come in and add 2 little red hearts on top, kind of mimicking cherries. I will add some detail to the ice cream itself and to the cone. And I'm going to add some shadows. So I have some really dark markers for the chocolate ice cream. And I'm going to add some shadows underneath each layer. But right here, I'm just kind of highlighting those little score marks in the ice cream cone, adding some shadows. Then I'm going to come in and add the shadows to the ice cream itself because it just kind of looks not alive. So this is a really dark marker. So when I say find a marker that matches your cardstock, this is a good prime example because this was so dark, it was not going to blend out. So I kept having to search for the right kind of color to match so it'll blend out those darker shadows. I did end up also coming in with my blender pen and just kind of blending that out a little bit more so it's not such a stark contrast between the different layers of ice cream. So I'm just going to finish blending that out where I kind of found that lighter color that blends out perfectly, and then I will come in with my blender marker here and just slightly blend that out. And once this dries, it looks fantastic. So you'll see in the photos after the marker dries how good it looks. Okay, and then we've got this cute little pillow, and I am a person who absolutely loves to take naps, so this is meant for me. So I die cut, there's the little Z's, I die cut from teal and gold mirror cardstock. Then there's two parts to the pillow. This top white part is a glitter cardstock, which I thought would be super pretty for the top of the pillow, and then the teal for behind. And I will just glue that together. Okay, so for all of the backgrounds, I am using the embossing folder from January's embossing folder kit from Spellbinders. And then this is Lawn Fawn's quilted heart backdrop. This is the portrait die. And I'm going to use both of these for the backgrounds. I wanted to keep these cards pretty simple, but I wanted them to have texture. So my first card that I made with this embossing folder is the mini slimline. And this back piece was cut to 6.5 by 3.5, which is the measurement of a slimline card. And then I have two more that I did just regular A2 size that I used this embossing folder for. I just kind of had my cards laid out and which colors I want to use and had that all ready before I decided to do embossing and die cutting. Okay, so now for this die, I have 3 cards that I'm going to be doing. I have 2 whites and then a red background that I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep the little pieces, especially from the red background, because I'm going to use those hearts to embellish the rest of these cards. So I'm just using my tool-in-one to pop out all of those little hearts, which works really, really nice. But this is a really pretty background, you guys. So in my MISTI, I'm going to start stamping my sentiments. So this first little sentiment is nice and curved, and it says, I love you more than. And I'm going to center that around that middle little container of French fries. So of course it says, I love you more than French fries, which is really super cute. And I'm going to come in with just some black ink and stamp that. So I'm laying out my images so I know exactly where everything needs to be. I'll remove those and then stamp. The MISTI is so perfect for this because I had to stamp it a couple times. And for the next few sentiments I have to stamp, it really is perfect because I did not have to move that top stamp. So these little rectangle pieces, this is that little scalloped die that comes in the Love You More Than die set. So this one, of course, is die cut from white cardstock, and I'm putting in place the top sentiment, and then the bottom sentiment says coffee. So for the next few cards, I can leave the top sentiment in place. I just have to replace the bottom sentiment. I'm going to come in with some red ink. This is lobster ink from Spellbinders. From Lawn Fawn. Lobster ink from Lawn Fawn, which I think is a really pretty red color. Then for the I Love You More Than naps, I'm doing the lobster ink on that. This last card, I meant to do black ink for the tacos, but I grabbed the red ink, and it actually turned out fine. It still is really super cute, but I meant to do black ink, and when I stamped it, I was like, oh no. So I Love You More Than tacos, but see how easy the MISTI is? I can just put that cardstock in there. For this one, I've got some light gray cardstock, kind of a medium light gray cardstock, and I'm going to do some white heat embossing on this. So I am coming in with Honeybee Stamps clear embossing ink, stamping the I Love You More Than, and then I'm going to sprinkle on my white embossing powder and then heat that through until it's nice and melted. I am going to bring in a piece of white cardstock for the ice cream part of the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp that in the lobster ink, and I will just use my paper trimmer to trim this down. So I'm going to stamp that up, and then I'll just put that aside and trim that out later. Then I've got the pizza card. and again, this is on that same gray cardstock. I need to line up my pieces because I'm going to have the sentiments kind of offset. So I want the I love you more than to be kind of by that one lonely slice of pizza, and then the word pizza down on the bottom left. So I'm going to put those in place, remove my little slices of pizza, and I'm going to prep my cardstock with an anti-static powder tool because I'm going to do the white heat embossing on this as well. Stamp that a couple times, sprinkle on the white heat embossing, and then just use my heat tool that I did heat up beforehand to melt that embossing powder. Now let's put these cards together. All of the card bases are white, and I'm using a lot of foam tape to give dimension on some of these cards. Some of the images have dimension because I love dimension. So I'm going to start with this first slice of pizza, and I'm going to add the foam tape behind that and get that in place. And then these other ones I'm going to glue directly to the card panel, no foam tape behind them. And I'm just going to lay them out so I can make sure that they line up good. And what I'm doing is kind of lining up the crust areas and making sure it's not too wonky. I don't mind that there's spaces in between this, but I really love this card. I think it is so super cute, and I think this pizza turned out so fun. Then we've got the French fry one, which I'm pretty sure is my most favorite card. Number one, because I really love French fries, but I just think it's so, so cute. So foam tape behind that piece, which is trimmed down to 6 by 3 inches. I'm going to pop up that center fry with foam tape, and then the other two directly to the card panel. Then for this cute little coffee card, this is, so that background die, that quilted heart backdrop die is an A2 sized, but I already had this paper trimmed down and then I ran it through that die. So it's smaller than the A2 size, which is totally fine. I'm going to add some foam tape behind that little black mat that goes behind that little quilted die that comes in the die set, and then foam tape behind the coffee mug. Then I've got the cute pillow. I've got some teal cardstock that goes behind this quilted little frame. I did trim down that embossed background about 1/8 of an inch on all sides. And then again, that centerpiece is going to be popped up with foam tape. The pillow will not be popped up with foam tape. I'm going to glue that directly down, but the little Z's will be popped up with some foam tape. And I'm going to glue that pillow on just a little bit of a diagonal. Super, super cute. I love this card because I do love to take naps. Okay, for the cute little ice cream, this one again is trimmed down smaller than an A2 size card, but it still ran through the die cut, that little die perfectly, that quilted heart backdrop die perfectly. And that little rectangular frame from the Love You More Than die set, I die cut 3 times from that gray cardstock because I wanted this to feel a little bit thicker. I'm adhering that to a white mat behind it, and that's going to give some definition between the gray and the heart backdrop. And then of course gluing down my ice cream cone with no foam tape behind it, but the sentiment will have foam tape behind it. Then the cute little tacos, here is that red background that I die cut. This is A2 sized. I did not trim this down. I'm just using liquid glue to adhere that. I did keep all of those, well, most of those little hearts because I'm going to add those to the embellishments on all of these cards. Some foam tape behind this little centerpiece, and then I'm going to add one taco directly to that, and then the other one will be popped up with some foam tape. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm so in love with these. They're so cute. And I decided these little red hearts needed to be inlaid back into the quilted heart backdrop die. So I'm just adding a little bit of liquid glue, using my jewel picker to pick them up, and just putting a few in. And I just think it adds a little something extra to the background. It doesn't keep it too busy at all. It just adds a little something something, which is always nice. And it's really easy to put those back in. Super cute. I decided I was going to tuck one in underneath because I just kind of wanted it peeking out. Then the rest of the cards, I'm just going to add a few of these hearts in and around, except for the fries. I'm not going to add anything to the fries. I thought I was, and then I was like, nope, I like it just how it is. But a couple little hearts there by the tacos. And I did the pizza, and I'm going to do some for the little pillow. And then these cards are completely finished. So here this is. This has a lot of dimension. It has a lot of texture, but it's super simple. These are great for Valentine's Day, but really you could use this any time of the year. And these are so darn cute. Again, I think the French fry one is my favorite. I know it's my daughter's favorite. And this pizza one I think is my second favorite. Really just fun. These dies were super easy to put together, as you could see. And again, you don't have to add Copic markers to them. You could just leave them how it is. But I usually tend to like to add the extra little detail on these. So definitely go check out Concord 9th's website, see if you can snag these up. I do have everything listed and linked below. If you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. Definitely thumbs up, comment, share. That is really super helpful. I do have some affiliate links. They cost you nothing to use, but they do help me to continue to make these videos. So thank you for that. I appreciate you guys so very much, and I will see you soon. Bye.